Welcome back. Welcome back. Day 2. Lamont Carey. Gangster. See gangster? Day 2 of us walking. Trying to get into this exercise thingy so we can be fit. So we can be strong. Man, gangster. Hey, Miss B. Howdy, Miss B. How you doing, Miss B? Why you up, Miss B? Hey, so yesterday was my first walk, and I guess first real attempt at a live. It's kind of cool. But yesterday the weather was nice. Today, good googa mugga. It is cold whew. So good morning. I think I probably need to start scheduling what I'm going to be talking about if I'm going to be talking. But I didn't want to be like scripted. I'm scripted everywhere else. I'm in the workshops, in the speaking. And I know it ain't no real difference between who I am and what I do for a living. So, gangster, calm down, killer. That's why he's gangster. Y'all see that? That's why he's gangster. He tried to fight everybody, every living human, except for dogs. I mean cats. He'll fight a dog. He'll bite a human. But he don't be trying to get down with cats. But anyway, so I wanted to be authentically me. So good morning, Lisa. I know I need a hat. But the crazy part is I got a hat in my pocket. What I didn't know about wearing glasses is that it's complicated as hell to have on glasses and a hat. So for right now, if I want to see where I'm going, if I want to see where I'm going, I'm gonna have to keep the hat in my pocket, shawty. But thank you very much. So, I be having some interesting experiences, like with myself, with young dudes, and I was wondering, well, I'm wondering now, like, do you all understand how serious the term manhood is for men and boys, especially men and boys of color, or maybe even just more so African American men and boys. And I remember, like, I'm sure like with womanhood, there is no like real description or definition of what womanhood is. And when you were a boy growing up in the hood, or sometimes just with a single parent, you learn about what man is based off of your surroundings. And then there's so many young dudes that are, look at gangster. So many young dudes that all they hear is a woman's voice. Not that that's a bad thing, but then we struggle to define what it is to be a man. And I remember, like, for one, there's 3 different kinds of manhood. There is the street dude that is not supposed to show any weakness. We even tell boys, stop crying, be a big boy. And then there's the unfortunate penitentiary manhood, where nothing bothers you and you deal with everything with extreme violence. And then there is the family guy, the good guy that's taking care of his family, making the best decisions that he can make. Well, all of us make the best decisions that we can make based off of what we trying to accomplish in life. And the thing that I learned, well, I don't even know if it was considered manhood. So when I was growing up, right, we always lived on like somebody's couch. I rarely recall my mother owning like her own place. And so when you talk about calling somebody poor or dirty or on welfare, that stuff was painful. And so I couldn't wait. Like every opportunity I got, I tried to get my own. And so I became like a drug dealer at 11. But before the drug dealing, I was trying everything. Trying all kinds of legal stuff to try to make money, which wasn't always panning out. But my point is that, because you always hear that a man take care of himself, and then you compound that with not wanting to be poor, not wanting to feel poor, not being able like to really express yourself or what you're going through, or you expressing it but people ain't really, they hearing you but they ain't really hearing you. And then you get with some other guys that's around your age that's going through the same experiences. So I read this book on it's part of the subject though. I read this book on economic development, and in the book it was talking about how we marry within our economical brackets, right? So it was more focused on like developing countries, and how people struggle to get out of poverty. Hey, lady die. How people struggle to get out of poverty because they marry somebody that that's also in poverty at the same level that they are, and they don't usually marry up. So I guess it's more so you marry who you around. But it was saying the issue with marrying somebody that's in poverty is that no resources come with it. So you share the same amount of resources that you already didn't have. And so it doesn't grow the family. And so my point of how that's connecting with what to me about manhood is that, in my opinion, I think like 90% of the individuals that's in prison are there for trying to be a man, whatever their definition of what a man is. And so we find ourselves trying to take care of ourselves, making crazy decisions, stressful decisions, and being impulsive. Because I'm one that's impulsive as hell. Like, a lot of the mistakes that I make and always have made was based off you disrespecting me, and that was based off what my definition of whatever manhood is with me at the time, and just wanting to be on top of something, not wanting to be taken advantage of or missing opportunity. And so in turn, I make these crazy mistakes, and some of the mistakes that I made caused me a whole lot of heartache, a whole lot of pain. But I thought in a lot of those cases that it was me being a man. You ain't gonna say nothing slick to me because I'm a man. I ain't gonna let you disrespect me. I ain't gonna let you disrespect my family. I ain't gonna let you do this. I ain't gonna let you do that because I'm a man. And so what I try to tell young dudes is that if first you got to define what manhood is to you. And then when you define what manhood is to you, what are the consequences associated with you being that kind of man? What do you stand to lose? Because if somebody looking at you crazy or somebody challenging you to a fight and you feel that you have to fight them, because if you don't, everybody else gonna be looking at you crazy, and you gotta fight because you're a man, or you go out here and you doing all of this gunplay, hey Melissa, hey Christine, and getting involved in the street life, are you really willing to pay the consequences that are associated with those actions? And a lot of times they say they are. I was with this one kid recently that is ready to go to war based off of disrespect and manhood. And so when I asked him, was he willing to pay the consequences of those actions, he said, yeah. But I don't think he fully understand what those consequences were. Because when I asked him, like, what do he love? And what do he care about? And what do he want to be there for? Who he wants to protect? And his first thing was, hey, Christine, his mother, right? And so, but you get manhood mixed up if you thinking manhood is defending some insignificant honor in the streets. And the consequences is your life, and the consequences is you being incarcerated for any amount of time. Is too long to be incarcerated. And then the main thing is that you abandon, hey Christine, the main thing is that you abandon everything that you love. You can't be out here going to war or putting your life and freedom at risk for, breaking the law, but you saying you want to protect your mother. You want to protect your siblings. You want to protect your family because you leave them vulnerable to the very things that you said that you want to protect them from. And so I think whenever you with a young dude or you hear a young dude talking about his manhood, ask him to break that down for you. Ask him to help you to understand what it is to be a man to him, for him, and then ask him the consequences of all the consequences that are associated with him being a man. Because I remember times that I was willing to die based off of my definition of what manhood is, and what I didn't understand is that my definition of what a man is was death, was imprisonment. And so until we're somebody able to help us point out the errors of our thinking, then our thinking will always be what it is, unless we hit our head too many times and decide to change. So I don't know how I got on that, but so everything that I do, from even like the books that I write, is me trying to educate individuals or make them aware of not just my experiences, but the consequences of those experiences and those actions. And because I can't reach every young dude, I decided to write this book called Dead Before 18, Saving Our Boys from the Streets. And the whole purpose was to have this kind of conversation that I think I might be having with y'all right now, with them on their terms, at their time, speaking directly to them. So I talk about how you know when you're being recruited to be in a gang. dealing with your anger. No means, when she says no, it means no. Everything from sagging pants into tattoos, because we are bombarded with what it is to be a man. And I'm telling you, that definition has over almost 3 million people incarcerated today for trying to be a man, and just their understanding what a man is crazy. And so it's going to take us. It's going to take us to save us, to help us. And so I ain't know what I wanted to talk about. I just figured I'd open my mouth, and that's what came out. So what's happening? Talk to me. How your morning going? What you got to do today? Are you being your best self? Whatever that best self is. Because I get up, and one of the first things that I try to remember after all the problems that I got to face that day hits me, I remember that I'm winning. And I'm winning because I'm free. I got my own thoughts. I force myself into being ambitious. Sometimes I gotta force myself even to be determined. And so I don't wake up every time ready to conquer the day. But I know in order for the things that I need to accomplish, that I'm gonna have to get up, that I'm gonna have to get my mind working, that I'm gonna have to solve some problems. But more than anything, I'm gonna have to get personal with myself early in the morning so I can get up and I can face whatever I'm gonna have to face. So I try to eat. I don't always eat in the morning. I try to drink enough water, because all that stuff is gonna help me prepare for whatever I'm gonna face, because my thinking has to be clear. If I'm gonna be engaging people in any capacity. And so I am so happy, so delighted to have this morning start off with you, because we don't usually get to kick it. Right, Miss Hamilton? Right, Miss Graham? Right, Lady Di? We might respond to each other's posts, but we don't never really get to kick it. And right now I'm kicking it with you, but you ain't kicking it with me. Ambition should be made of sternier stuff. What you mean? What you mean, Lady Di? My fingers are cold as hell. Can you walk near the microwave? If I pace back and forth and the heat in the house, is that considered walking? Yonder, my main apple scrapple. Taboo. Everything I do is taboo. So Christine, Lady Di, how you feeling this morning? So yonder, I was out here talking about manhood. And I know at least 3 definitions of what manhood is. And so that's what I was out here running my mouth about. And yonder was probably the smoothest dude that I have ever seen. Because every time I saw this brother was suited and booted. And he said, you know what? One day you will be too. Just watch. Give yourself some time. Watch. And before you know it, optimistic. Manhood means responsibility. So, yeah, manhood definitely means responsibility. But you know, yonder, sometimes if that's not clear to a young dude, cause some young dudes out here committing crimes because they saying they being responsible, because they got to take care of what they got to take care of. So my thing is always to make sure that I'm clear on what that understanding means to them. because they haven't been living long and their information is limited. It ain't as broad and they not as probably as widely read as you are. And so when you say manhood means responsibility, sometimes we got to make sure that we define exactly what we mean so our understanding is clear to the young dudes that we saying it to. Right? Because they not quick to say what you mean by that. Because sometimes they be so laid back in their style, they don't want to sound stupid. They don't want to appear that they ain't hip. So they won't even respond. They'll just sit there and you'll think that they understand completely what you were saying, but they misinterpret it by 1,000 miles. We got to stay focused, take positive actions. Lady Di, what you mean? So Yonda said exactly, expand and break it down from kindergarten level. That's right. Because everything I do, I always do it on the 3rd grade level. Because I know the 3rd grade level, I can reach every audience. But if I come trying to use PhD language, and I'm in front of people that have 2nd grade and 3rd grade comprehension, they're going to miss everything I'm saying. But if I'm speaking from a 3rd grade level, then every audience that I get in front of will understand what I'm saying. So I definitely agree with you on breaking it down, Yonda. So what's the plans for 2019? Oh, Yonda, I was telling them about the my book, Dead Before 18, Saving Our Boys from the Streets, and how it's a book of awareness and guidance for young boys. And it doesn't have to be young boys that are at risk, but all young boys are really at risk, but it's just a forewarn boys about the possibilities of what they can face when they come out of when they leave your home and facing this world on their own. Yonda said, consistently, you keep doing you. I try, brother. Can't sit back. Lady Di said, can't sit back and wait for something to fall in your lap. The only thing that fall in your laps, I believe, Lady Di, is leaves and dust. So everything that you want, you got to go out there and get them. Christine, you made your grandson read it? What did he think about it? Did he read it? Because you said made him read it. Man, it is cold out here, but Gangsta enjoying himself. This little dog pee at every post, every tree, every leaf. I don't know how in the hell he got all this in him. Yonda said, you correct. I live true white suburbia and my own son be acting out. Hey, one of the best things I think that you could do with him is stay on top of him. Keep pushing that consequences for his actions. But the other thing to incorporate into consequences for his action is that when you're a kid, you not only suffer the consequences when you're a kid or adult, you not only suffer the consequences of your actions, but you suffer the consequences of the actions of the individuals who you're around. So your son can be out with some friends and one can throw a rock and bust a car window, and the person across the street in the house can hear it, and when they call the police, they giving a description of 2 men that out here busting car windows, and not just the one that they even saw throw the rock. So, in that sense, that you suffer the consequences of your actions and the consequences of the actions of the people you surround yourself with. Yes, Christine said yes to me, and we discuss each chapter. Wow. Thank you for sharing that with him. Lady Di says, so the sterner stuff, getting up and doing it. Yeah, it's a struggle sometimes, even for me to get up and do the stuff that I have to do. So, but you gotta want it, cause like you said, ain't nothing gonna fall in your lap. So you have to want it. Yonder went to the cemetery the other day to show him potential. They all dead. Wow. How did he take that? How did he take that? Because I was going to do a trip before taking the young dudes to the morgue, not to see no bodies. I just wanted them to see the slab that the bodies be on and all the tubes that they stick in you to drain the blood and open you up and take your organs out. But then I thought I ain't want to traumatize them to that extent. And there are lighter ways to get kids to see. We just got to remember that everybody learn differently. We learn from sound, from visual, from reading. So I try to mix up when I'm working with kids to make sure that I hit them in every way that I possibly can, and I get them to repeat it, or I give them a worksheet or something to make sure they comprehend it and retain some of the information that I wanted them to get. But the best way that I learned to teach kids is to have a topic, use an open-ended question on something that they will care about, and allow them to go at it. Sometimes you got to encourage them to get to talking, but it seems that kids, even and some adults, learn better or retain it better when you're guiding them versus you lecturing them on what it is that you want them to learn. Hey, LaWanda, how you doing, love? Let you know when what? Yonder, what you let you know when what? Speaking into, what you say, Lady Di, speaking into existence? Hey, Lady Di, that is the realest stuff. I used to think that was just crazy people saying that you have to speak it into existence. But I learned when you speak it into existence, it's like claiming ownership of it. And it becomes ingrained in your thoughts, and the mind is such a beautiful thing that it starts to visualize you owning it, and even telling you the steps to take in order to get it. Oh yeah, Yonder, I scrapped that. I ain't want to traumatize them. That's really got to be for kids that's really out there, to show them that I ain't want to expose kids that's just doing delinquent stuff to the horrors or that could possibly bring. Hey, LaWanda, I'm glad you're well. You ready for the new year? Lady Di, everything is in our atmosphere. Everything is possible, but you got to be willing to go get it. You got to put in the time to make it happen. And one of the things I experienced recently is that taking the stuff that I'm struggling with and put it on paper, and I see it in like the third person, because I guess I solve problems better that way. It's stuff that I can read or visualize, and taking it out of my mind takes out some of the pressure or the stress, and it makes it more real to me to be reading over what it is that I say that I want, and then I just start working towards it. Am I rambling now? I think I'm rambling now, so I'm about to let y'all go. Plus my fingers are cold as a mug. So remember, your eyes are open. You live in the day because you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be accomplishing those things that you want to accomplish. You're supposed to be living that life that you want to live. And it's waiting for you, but it's going to take you to go get it. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, see you in the new year or maybe sooner. But I believe in you. Just continue to believe in yourself, and even when you don't allow that to stop you from doing. Because sometimes self-esteem is built through the action and the accomplishment. So it's great to have big goals, but always there are little steps that are associated with the big goal to get the big goal. So you have to start recognizing and celebrating those little steps. And your big goal may be to own a house. When you write that down on paper that you want to own a house, that's an accomplishment. So celebrating that. And that's another way that I know to build confidence, to build self-esteem. I appreciate y'all. See y'all later. Bye.